All right, hey guys, we are about to do just like a very impromptu video. We have been traveling, we've been out of town. Look forward to those vlogs coming up. But you know, when you're like, I heard about this story before we left out of town, but you know how like we got to town, you really haven't been on social media, and you come back and you like, oh, catching up on all of the tea. So a story that me and BK was just talking about is this Tabitha Brown and Wendy Williams. So if you don't know, if you don't follow Tabitha Brown or Wendy Williams or social media at all, Tabitha Brown now is at a point, thank God, where she can retire her husband who had been on the police force for 15 years. In response to that, Wendy Williams responded to her like, the video was beautiful. She was celebrating her husband and talking about like how she just wants him to be able to live his dreams because he kind of put his dreams on hold for her for so long. And it's so beautiful. And Wendy Williams' response was like, girl, why would you do that? If you retire a man, your marriage isn't going to work out right. And we were just like, what? But what baffled me even more than Wendy Williams, we know Wendy Williams likes to start drama. What baffled me the most was the people that have been commenting on this. There have really been so many women, and we don't usually do like pop culture stuff. Maybe we will more, we don't know. But what baffled me is that there were so many women who were commenting on what Wendy Williams said and agreeing with her, like, yeah, I would never retire my man. He needs to be the provider. He needs to retire me. He needs to be the one that's holding up the household. Just like these gender roles that are just so archaic. And we have like a situation that is similar to this. So I was like, okay, like we don't speak on things unless we actually feel like we can relate to them and actually speak on them. And so we're like, well, we have had a similar situation to this, and like we can actually speak about this. So like, babe, what happened with us in regards to you like changing careers, moving with me for me to pursue my dream?
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think that there is a season for everybody, and there's always going to be a season for somebody to have to sacrifice, right? And so, like, when my wife, when we were even younger, she moved up to Rice State University. I didn't have to move up there, but I moved up there for her, stayed up there for about 5 years. Things didn't really work out for us, but when we got back together, she was in Memphis. I didn't ask her to come back, right? Because I felt like she was already pursuing her career. I was working at the bank. I felt like I could work at any bank. So then I moved down to Memphis from Cincinnati. Now, understand that Memphis is 8 hours away from Cincinnati, okay? So I literally left everything that I knew, everything that I loved to actually pursue Jasmine. During that time, even with her starting her career and going into school and being a teacher and all of that different stuff, there were certain things that, like, you know, things that we had to kind of struggle through. But I remember when I gotten a yearly raise when I was at Regents Bank, and I got a 25-cent raise, and I remember how disappointed I was. Like, is this going to be my life? And I literally told Jasmine, I'm going to become a real estate agent. She said, okay, so what are going to be your steps? So I'm going to get my license and I'm going to quit Regents. Now, you got to understand, security is a big thing for Jasmine. So
I was scared.
She was super scared, but my thing is that we came in with a plan, and I literally remember these words coming out of my mouth. I said, I have sacrificed for you for a long time. I need for you to sacrifice for me so that I can do something that I feel like I'm going to flourish in and that I'm going to love. And so she was like, okay, but I just need you to come up with a plan. So we came up with a plan. We paid off a bunch of stuff. We got all of our bills under one income so that if I ever closed a house, then it would just be gravy on top. And so, you know, and that's the way that we've been since then. And, you know, each year I've made more and more and more and more. And now this is going to be I'm going into my third year. So I've been a real estate agent for about 2 years and like 8 months or something like that. So I'm going into my third year. This year will be my biggest year. And so, you know, and hopefully I get to a point, and I mean, I'm kind of pacing to even match Jasmine when it comes to income, which is phenomenal, right? Which is phenomenal for us. And so, we're looking back on that saying, man, what if we never would have made that sacrifice, right? Like,
what if I would have been like, no, I'm not going to be the sole income. I'm not going to go to work and pay the bills and make sure everything is under my name for no man to go and pursue what he wants to do.
But I think
what would have been crazy.
I think what was great about this is that you got to hear Tabitha's response to Wendy Williams, right?
It was beautiful.
She did it with so much class. Because the thing is that you got to remember Wendy Williams has gone through a lot when it comes to marriage, and although
people like her like to project what they have gone through onto other people. Like, it's one thing to give advice to other married people. It's another thing to take your experience and project it onto somebody else's marriage, because that's not, whether good or bad, you projecting things on other people's marriage is not okay. If they ask for advice, or you guys are just having a friendly conversation, like, cool, take it, accept it, whatever. But just because you can't say, well, my husband quit his job, we went through this, he used me, so he gonna use you, and your marriage is not gonna be successful. What? Because we're like, no, he quit his job to pursue what he wanted to do, while I maintain the income, and it has literally, like he said, become more and more successful each year. And it hasn't put any type of impact on our marriage and our relationship.
It's actually brought us closer.
Yeah.
I think that it has actually brought us closer, because we've had to kind of rely on each other in different ways. But I would say, and this is an example of you cannot let the people on the internet or people outside of your marriage dictate what that looks like, right? Because
and I don't want people who aren't married or seeking to get married to think like, oh, well, I need to be with somebody that's got it all together and already doing what they want to do, because I don't want to have to be the one to fully support the household.
Yeah.
If that's what you have to do.
If that's what you got to do, but you got to see potential in that person.
Yes.
Right? I think that you got to see potential in that person.
Please do.
Because I feel like
Wendy probably saw red flags before that happened.
There you go. And I feel like that's the way that it is with a lot of people in marriages. Like, I think that, like, you go through things, you see red flags, you see that person doesn't know how to handle their anger, right? You see
their finances.
You see that they don't know how to handle their finances. You see all of these red flags. You got to kind of take those red flags and really be like, is this somebody I want to be with for the rest of my life? Or have I been seeing this person get better and better and better and better each year?
Trying to achieve something.
I told Jasmine, I said, I will get you to a point to where I can retire you, right? And I think the thing is, it's like, me wanting to do that is not wrong. I don't think that Jasmine is going to use all of our money. Be a gold digger, use all of our money. And I don't think that she's gonna
I feel like us as a couple, we want to do that for each other.
Yeah,
like Tabitha, like, dang, like, wow, you were able to quit your job and go to your classes for real estate and learn this real estate thing without us having to worry about finances. Like, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Like, that is incredible, and I think you should want that in marriage for your spouse.
Yeah, I think so too. People need to be able to pursue their dreams in a very responsible way. But, don't listen to these people that just sit up here and just be like, well, because you did X, Y, and Z, it's not going to be successful. Because people told me that because I was moving down to Memphis, we weren't going to work out, right? They called me stupid for moving down to Memphis.
When I went off to college, people said
when we went off to college, they said we weren't going to work.
People gonna say what people gonna say.
Man, people gonna say what they gonna say. But my thing is like, you have to look at that person and say, man, I see potential in you. I've always seen Jasmine to be a good wife. I've always seen Jasmine. I mean, obviously, when we went through our breakups and stuff, I mean, I probably didn't see her being a good wife at that time, or even a mother at that time, because I wasn't really focused on we weren't really focused on being together. So, but when I got to that point to where I was just like, I'm laying all the cards on the table, I saw her as a wife, I saw her as a mother, and I said that even if this come back to bite me in the behind, guess what? I gave it my all. I did everything that I was supposed to do. And I think that's how every marriage should be. I think that people should be able to live out their dreams, and you should be able to hold it down, whether you're a man or a woman. Whatever it is, whatever that dynamic of that relation is, relationship is, you need to be able to say, hey, look, I'm going to hold it down because I know that whatever you're getting into, you're going to give it your all.
And is there going to be fear behind that? Absolutely. Although Tabitha is happy and she's able to take care of all things while he pursues his dream, I'm sure there's maybe a little bit of anxiety there, because it's the unknown. If he's been holding it down for the last 15 years, it's unknown. Okay, what does this look like now? But you guys talk about that. You make a plan. You stick close to your plan and your goals. We have a video coming about where we are with our yearly goals. So go back and watch our 2021
We'll record that
goal
when we get
video.
back to the house.
Where was that going? I have a plan. Oh, I have a plan.
Yeah.
Is anxiety and fear going to come with it? Yes, absolutely. But you have to be with somebody that you're going to trust. You have to like seek out, not purposely try to find, but like see those red flags if they come. If that is somebody that you're like, I would not want to quit my job or have them quit their job and me be responsible for everything because he's just going to mooch off me, basically, then that's not somebody you want to marry. And maybe Wendy Williams should have known that from the beginning.
And also, too, the thing is that now he could have changed over time, He could have changed over time. They could have been very happy, been married, and had a good life. And then, but from what I've been hearing, it wasn't like that. You know what I mean? I think that people see these red flags. I mean, you got to follow those red flags. I don't care what color, what sexual orientation that person is. I don't care what they do for a living. People are people, right? And people are normally work in patterns, right? So if you see that this person is with you and they're sitting up here and you love that person, but you know that person is a moocher and they're not very motivated when it comes to certain things, then you may want to be a little iffy about if they're talking about, hey, I want to quit my job so I can pursue X, Y, and Z, knowing that you know. But I mean, I'm talking to all my soon to be married people. My thing is that if you and that person can agree that we are going to sacrifice at this time, just plan, man.
And
just
do it.
Plan and do
forget what other people say. And forget these gender roles. Forget the gender roles. Shoot. If a woman is able, if you are a woman and you are in a financially stable place to be able to take care of your household, and you believe that your husband can go out there and do something successful and he is not living out his full potential, let him do it.
Yes.
Same with men. If you can hold down the household financially, and you know that there's something that your wife wants to go out and do, allow her to do it. Have a conversation, make a plan, allow her to do it. Yes. Don't think, oh, well, I'm a woman, I can't do that. Or I'm a man, I can't do that. I'm supposed to be holding down the house because I'm a man. Listen, a woman can hold down the house just as good or better than you can. Probably. Sorry.
Oh, no, you don't feel me. So I'm confident in myself. I'm secure in myself.
Let her do it. Let her do it. I just seeing other people's comments, I was like, really? Like, this is really why we need to do another video about it. There are so many negative views out there on marriage. Like, oh my goodness. I've been looking at comments like some people really like, I don't know what I was looking at the other day, probably a comment on that. And this girl was like, I've lost all hope in relationships because men are just a waste of time. And I was like, yikes. Please don't allow y'all hurt and pain to determine whether marriage is the thing to do or not. And it's okay. Some people don't want to get married. That is completely fine. But if that is a desire of yours and you're just like, well, I see what these other people go through, I don't want to do it. No. Deal with the things that you need to deal with inside of you. Find another person who has been working through those things as well. And y'all come together and try your hardest not to be what you don't want to be in your marriage. Wendy Williams' marriage is not Tabitha Brown's marriage. Tabitha Brown's marriage is not our marriage. Your marriage, your future marriage, your past marriage is not our marriage or Wendy's or Tabitha's. So you create your own story in your marriage. So yes, this is a very impromptu video. We just came back from the beach. We look a hot mess. We're sitting on the floor of my mom's house. But we were talking about it and the camera was here. And we was like, let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
So, if you have any comments, if you agree or disagree with whatever it is that we have said, go ahead. Drop it below. We will see y'all. Hey, don't forget, like, comment, subscribe, share it. We're getting these subscribers up.